Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Upon visiting this club, I've been asked what I think about this club or why I decided to join. And I've been given a couple impromptu speeches to explain why, but I don't think that was very sufficient. So I want to designate this speech to formally present my journey and why I'd like to join this club, or why I did join the club. If you don't know me, my name is Samuel. I am 19 years old, first year student in community college. I'm born, grown, and raised on US soil, and I practically lived in Fullerton most of my life. And over the course of my short life, the value of learning to exercise proper control and eloquence over my own tongue became a little more and more apparent to me. And so growing up, I really struggled with reading comprehension and writing. I was your typical Asian who excelled in math and not so much in English. And it was strange because I had peers and they would all excel at this wonderful skill, and I would always lag behind. And I felt quite inadequate, and it got so bad to the point that by 8th grade, I ended up rationalizing to myself that actually reading and writing aren't that, they're a little overrated. So I don't really need it, and I'm okay. And I try to use that as a way to confront my own weaknesses. But in high school, I found myself in this advanced English class where I definitely did not feel like I belonged there. And they didn't just teach about grammar or basic vocabulary, but they talk about rhetoric and how to analyze it and how to use it for yourself. And from there, I learned that actually reading, writing, speaking, those are all things involved in thinking, sophisticated and high-level thinking. I just considered that for a long time, and I don't know why I rationalized to myself that I didn't need to read or write, but I just thought about it, and it made a lot of sense. Humans have written, read, spoke for several centuries, and it's a very powerful skill because it allows you to compress an entire lifetime into maybe a couple pages, maybe a couple hundred pages. But in about one sitting, if you have the free time to do so, you can learn an entire life in just maybe an hour or a day or a week. And this is an extremely underrated skill that I didn't really appreciate that much. But one layer on top of that is writing. Writing is extremely hard. Even writing the speech was took a lot of brainstorming and revision, constant thinking. Oh, this doesn't sound right. This is kind of bad. Oh, this sounds good. Oh, but what sounds good is not that useful or strays away from my main point. And writing is one thing. And then you go on top of that and you have speaking. And now I have to move and project my voice and make facial expressions or sad facial expressions. And there's just so many layers to not just reading, but then writing, and then incorporating writing with your body movements and your tone of voice. And that's why I am here today, so that I can refine this skill to embrace the discomfort, the nervousness, and to push myself a little more beyond my own limits. And I think it's very prevalent because we're in a world where communication is something that it's not just an optional extracurricular we add to our daily life, but it's a necessity. And despite knowing this importance, many of us try to avoid it. We fear being judged. We don't like to make mistakes. We don't like to be humiliated. We want to make a message that delivers effectively. But in that fear actually lies the opportunity for growth. And every great speaker, every great leader, every great visionary once stood where I'm standing today, facing that challenge, daring to speak despite the uncertainty. Thank you, James.